You don't know. 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 You don't know.
I drop reverse poems for skulls in a rapt audience. Sketch artists with the ink who drew a blueprint from the architect. Wouldn't recognize my face, they never see it coming till they get rolled on. Bonded metal to bone shards on stitched jaws. The dark horse in a fixed mass with 100-to-1 odds. Front on me, I wouldn't advise. I spit liquid like broken pipes. It's encoded in my enzymes. My genetic makeup's the archetype. So no need to stress, the same shit happens despite what I do. Even if you believe minds move objects from a still state, I steal things people can't afford, like civil rights. Steal mics to form, just know the facts if you want the hype. Quick to judge, quick to diss. You memorize punchlines. Dummy men that can want to be market MCs want airtime. So all things afforded a man willing to trade his own self-respect. I'm cruel in a world that makes me want to burn presidents. Trapped within this frame, we find these truths to be self-evident. The recluse with a bone to pick for control on private ownership. Cause whack 'em C's, visionary tyrants, A&Rs, corporate labels. You don't know me, homie. Incinerate the evidence, making patterns with the ashes. We move backwards to live lavish, serving eviction notice to the masses. I live on edge, drawn from habit, down to the havoc. While my reactions muffle screams in a horror scene with a bunch of B-list actors. Hack with a bloody axe until the beat ain't even matching. Now just imagine, I spit what they lack, round up the upper half on a time lapse. Hard to adapt cause I'm the side act from a circus tent. True believer, lost his faith by the third attempt. My words etched on stone slabs like paint stains. Regime change came like a thief in the night to replace the weak link and seize things with army rations and propaganda. Disabled vets on life support with no finances, and I'm stuck in this cycle, steady prime with one advantage. So find the end and get your ends, cause this globe is on spin, but it's not all about the Benjamins. And I'm from the ancient lineage, back to claim whatever it is. Divide the dividends, super bum, I'm back to save the kids. Like you don't know. We put motion to science to expose corrosive vices. Visionary tyrant on the warpath, exposing biters. Once whole, now we stand divided, so I'm solo with motive driving. Had to lose my best friend before I could move forward and roll righteous. Like this, you check it. Now I'm back to lace tracks to these corniacs. Get the axe, committing murder on wax. Urban legend collecting bones in a paper sack. Referred to as the man in the mask on the side street with a rusty hacksaw. Jacking for beats like Ice Cube with a Jerry curling beanie cap on. The sleeper cell, unappreciated. Look, no hands, mom. Club DJs don't feel me. Come on, man, this is my dance song. Doing it well since back in the day, riding in my man's car. And this shit don't stop. Tell the heads flood the dance floor, cause you don't know. You don't know.
No matter the weather, you find me out doing whatever. Every time we do this,
fringe until my soul was cleansed. Came back to the beginning on this path and know where it ends. A leaking pen, some say rhyme pays, well that depends. A business like folk get dragged on a jagged edge, so I remove debt and never get fleeced by cheap promoters. Don't front on that tip, there's no such thing as free exposure. Pay me on the front end, I'll take the cash from the coat check. Didn't realize they were vultures till you fell off and no one noticed. Blown monitors, duct tape mics and bullshit sound, man. Just get straight with the dough and I'll make sure they pack the crowd in.
Every time we do this, sucker MCs wanna battle. I know that they love the hate that they are doing up Seattle.
With no time to waste, I'm up late counting the seconds. Who would've thought waking up hungover would take me in a new directions while I'm shuffling through breaks? Stuck grinding for change, they arrange to liquidate my assets on the inside of trade. Don't sleep, I never imagined was this bad. Slow to react, you're getting socked with a fist pack. The first to be last behind the studious man doing his math, and it amounts to little more than acting a part. You're looking hard but can't seem to find that lost item. I'm never false when I talk, going for mine in encrypted writing. I followed the bright lights and found myself on the stage, and little to my knowledge a predetermined release date. And each day proceeding, make it even harder to wait. Struggling through the pitfalls of deep thought to plot my escape, but I couldn't find it, blinded by a sandstorm, this desert of broken dreams. When nothing's what it seems, the fools get left thinking the ship departed, reaching but couldn't seem to take it farther. Chasing ghosts who won't stay buried in a cemetery of dead artists. Armed respondents, and this world ain't safe to live in, where even the well-intentioned get trapped in the cycle of bloodshed. That's the business.
Your boys are not going to be sent into any foreign war. I accept your summons. I will lead this crusade.
A place of moral leadership.
So far as the government of the United States is concerned.
Now there's a whole lot of things that I'd like to explain. How the circumstances change and why I panned out that way. Was it the place I was raised, to how I maintained? Or with or without this experience, would I still be the same? So is it look before you leap, or do you believe in faith? Rise in murder rates, the decline of a state, a government formed within the lines of a republic. But the homeless don't cast votes, so mass discontent's out muscle. Now I'm still hard pressed just to make it some sense. There's some guy at the door for you and he's here to collect. What the hell you expect, just to keep you in step? If I take a deep breath, they charge me 25 cents. National defense, how my taxes are spent. Well, epidemic spread in third world countries. Armageddon coming soon. You got starving children, mob lynchings, and politicians. Leads to civil strife, conflict, and charred buildings. While foreign-based companies are far more willing just to export the exploits and transplant jobs to where they're assured to work for less. Coin the breaking point. Rest in the void. Oil-based cesspool, lead poison, suppressed voice.
You must then help guide a great democracy, which may be necessary to wage war.
Watch history repeat, worldwide religious battles. Violent census patterns, citizens in shackles and cities burned to ashes. Seen it all before, but then again as it happens, can't afford to leave the shit as is. Harsh words to armed conflict, hell in a handbasket.
We must not let the country be deceived. Don't join the book burners.
We got a new World War report to feed the hordes with an edited press release. Lies, electives breathe, have me stressing something terrible. Prepare for the show, military occupation to build a strong nation in the hopes to construct a foundation from the wastelands that would keep the crowds metered. Install paper leaders, tyranny would have the citizens breathing ether. Soldiers of fortune disguised as peacekeepers. In the Middle East ain't east either, it's the center of the globe. Watch Western domination as it's tentatively known, but I don't expect you to know. The press playing host to suppose democratically elected officials got me swimming in the contaminated fish bowl when shit's close to boiling point, with a noise filling the void as an empire spreads. Capitalist thought is consumed till nothing's left. It's human nature. As we leave consumption unchecked, make me wanna earl, cause that's a hard pill to swallow. Armed posts monitor the public, people marked with barcodes. It's odd, so watching them living on time borrowed.
Acquisition of unwarranted influence by the military-industrial complex.
Watch history repeat, worldwide religious battles. Violent census patterns, citizens in shackles and cities burned to ashes. Seen it all before, but then again as it happens, can't afford to leave the shit as is. Harsh words to armed conflict, hell in the handbasket.
Taking us out of war in generations to come.
That is the acute emergencies of war.
It's the clash of civilizations passed down through the ages. Poverty stricken and naked and boiling cold in the hatred. This legacy is ancient from the Crusades to West Bank. At odds over God's holy lands, cultures and lies. A shadow fell across the sun as an angel approached the mosque. Was a preconceived fate, a product of perverse faith, but we all serve the same in different ways that turn to break. In a dream of lasting peace, as blood stains the streets, and it may never change. Maybe that's life, ill as it seems.
It is light against dark, godliness against atheism.
We shall not settle for less than total victory.
The president has to assume powers that otherwise he would never attempt to exercise. The forces of good and evil are masked and armed and opposed.
I got my brain charged to make it large, professing 8 bars, ill like a long night of faded hard. You wear your wants to where your wants balance cost, unveiled on lock, and all your dues be paying off. Tell them I'm moving on, true to form and eternally restless. New in the scene, spraying MCs with a pearl necklace, the new legacy. Strip rap naked and dance for dollars, market and promotion on the base for barren topics with golden arches. We're all's fair in war and politics, and I do it one at a time like one of my lines. Show you how it's done and combined. One of my styles we funded, supplied, on fire while I mess with the dials. Dust to daybreak, on loan to page since the gold age where I create my namesake. Rocking the same breaks, I inhabit dub mixtapes like a ghost in the machine. Focus, proceed was the code of receive, motive and means. I was free to reborn, then re-released to the dawn. But me and the mic were divorced, leaving me to drink on the porch in a tangle of sorts. Just to run this natural course, I reattached to the source just in time. The ink got a score like
Spunk and elegant high.
Pass me that OE and I got drink to hit the peak.
I say smart liquor.
I'll get drunk and reminisce.
I say smart liquor.
I keep wilding to my girl in the toilet.
content's barren, clever phrases with no substance, hustling with no savings, so you owe more than your friend. Immersed in a plot, the cost of fates intertwined in knots till the circulation's tied off, and you can jack my poems on the iPod to have them alteration, the creases and lifelines of my palms overlapped and laced and placed in odd timings, fashioned from nature. All creations come to pay dirt, no solace in the sacred nor profane, and minds are anxious, still captive to the maker. This animal never changes, chemical dependency leaving men bound in labor, and still I follow blindly. If you can accept the choice, my conversation's noise and a live feed filled with static, caught the roll and reversal, out of sequence and I'm moving backwards, cause I try to be righteous, but getting paid is what I'm after. Caught up in this shit, disabled by distractions, trying to maintain till I get faded, and that's real. Yeah, Champion Transient, Joker 1 on the NPC. Let's get it, man. The result of response makes it hard to resist, but if you can see where I've been, and it's really not all that far-fetched. Caught up on the debt, keeping it aside from your pretense, it determines just how far you would go to gain respect. Still in the mix with a barrel of rotten apples. Nothing happens without your own reasoning to interpret it. 10% spent ratio, return on earned expense like a candle wick. Both sides when you're burning ends, I serve sense. So don't be asking for loose change, cause only time tells a wise man a fool became. There's no sure thing, so don't get shortchanged. Maybe that's your fate. Universe expelled, thy kingdom come on my birthday. Champion seed from the sickle cell bloodstream, transfused, unfiltered and distributed, unclean. We make moves, I'm on a hostile takeover, chaos to order. Run your shit, I'm coming for you, cause that's all I have. Dropped the bait and switch and kept the lid on my attempts. Patience and bitch, but if you play, that's really the only way to win. The pressure's from within, so I maintain my sphere of influence. Calm on the surface as I respond throughout my mood swings. How I do things in steps, sometimes it's difficult, I must confess. One day to the next, it's a stretch and I'm out of breath. It's hard, yeah, but that's just the way it makes sense. I do this shit for the love, so fuck them heads that slept. My affliction draws distinctions, and I'm the sole being who isn't blinking. Tinkering with the mainstream visual aids for the part that's missing. With intent devoid meaning parts gather rust before they sink in. Rappers are custodians, mopping the puddles, my brain's leaking. I watch it go to pieces just to expose the pure derivative, only to find out it wouldn't sound nice if you had finished it. Broke it down, bass raw penmanship, edited bits for the like-minded. Locating facts if you use logic, slighted optics, keep my sales carefully concocted. Some say my lyrics are dense, but to the rest is painfully obvious. War waged in offices with wide-out and paper clips. I scrutinize my shit with diligence, that's why I'm making it, cause that's all I have. Yeah, yo, check it, man. Yeah. Still grinding in a cycle of audio files and beer bottles, digging for fossils just to filter through a module. Chopping loops, they move independently like air through my nostrils. My fate rests in divided visions, wide consensus and live appearance. The stage is set to settle the score. When the city sleeps, I'm stretching chords, prepared for war. With lyrics forged from liquid metal, engraved in stone, drawn to scale to spell notions to becoming anything else. Where frauds bleed for sales in a corporate blood bank. On a paper chase and it's all one and the same. True to form, unknown cause I can't move it in stores. Lucid dreams divided and forced, decided was yours. Champion seed from the sickle cell bloodstream, transfused, unfiltered and distributed, unclean. We make moves, I'm on a hostile takeover. Chaos to order, run your shit, I'm coming for you. Yeah, 95 to the present. Champion Transient, visionary tyrants, Joker One, Brain, Rhinoceros, Golden Child, Phenom Saber. For all you haters, check it. It's been a long time coming, since the date of inception. Progress worth its weight in records just to confront an old dilemma. Transfixed on the main objective. I spit code and structure measures, fusing illegible ledgers, producing that universal language. Trekking through a hall of mirrors, till I felt the growth to hear. Under the shadow of Mount Rainier, getting louder down in some beers. Wasn't quite clear till I bounced here. Colorado the 206, caught up in missteps until it fits in peace to rich. Novatron Lounge, Magnaflux, MC Dope, Joker One, and all them heads at the seismic shows. On the path that I chose, adapted the role like a screenplay, passing mics like a baton in a 400-meter relay. Never done quite as easily as I might have imagined. Stuck in a time capsule from 95 to the present, till all dues collected on all my future ventures. And it can't stop, won't stop, visionary tyrant forever it goes. It's the return of the tyrant, imposing a reign of tyranny, not to be trifled with. That's why these MCs ain't feeling me. The butchering doctor in a malpractice lawsuit, with a grip of medical patients seeking to recoup on their false dues, falling in loops with slow mismatched patterns, mumbling about nothing. Y'all are whacking than I could have imagined. What more could I expect from a bunch of money grubbing hoes? Superimposed, standing in rows, thinking you're dope. You missed the boat, so now I guess it's sink or swim. That's the way it is, and this is how this thing ends. Chomping at the bit, cause you was afraid to invent. Until next time I'm gone, sincerely the transient under the bridge. Peace.